Hello and greetings everybody, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back with the series that I'm running for the month of November. This is day number 22 of my favorite rock albums from the year 1979. Sorry. So what are we doing here? So basically I've chosen 30 albums for the month of November, which I'm going to talk about, and I've placed them in an order of my preference for these albums. You can place them in any order you wish, that would be fine as well. This is not going to be about anything other than rock music. There isn't going to be any kind of jazz fusion or maybe classical or anything that isn't rock oriented. We're not going to be doing that here. This is just specifically for my 30 favorite rock albums from the year 1979. In addition, there won't be any kind of limitations as far as how many albums a band can have, because it's only 1 year. Most bands, by definition, rarely put out more than one album at this point. You might get a couple of them. There is one particular guy on this that I did give credit for 2 albums. One was a live though, so I don't know if that really going to count as a studio album. So anyways, we've come here to this point and just want to talk about the albums. And I've put this one's day number 22, so it's moving up there quite a bit. This is a fairly new album to me. I've heard it before years ago, and I liked it, but I never really pursued it because, as you know, when you're a kid growing up, you get so much money a week, either through your allowance or for whatever work you're doing. And I used to save most of my money for comics, to be honest with you. That's what, from when I was about 12 till I was about 18, just about everything went towards comics, and I would buy maybe one album. Then it got a little bit more album oriented as I went along. But, I went into the store with $12, and that meant I could probably get 2 albums. So if I saw 3 or 4 I liked, I would only choose the 2 I liked best. And like most people, I would choose it from, if there's 4 albums in there and 2 of them happen to be from artists that I already had albums for, more than likely those would be the 2 that would get it. So Ted Nugent, which is the band we're doing today, and his State of Shock, which was the album he released in May of 1979, wasn't high on my agenda. In fact, Ted Nugent wasn't high on my agenda. I found his high-speed vocal and screaming a little bit much for me at that point in time. I'm not sure why I did, but I did. And yet Ted Nugent, in this particular album, State of Shock, he sings some tracks, but there's a couple of other guys that sing almost as much or more on the album. Charlie Hunn, who did most of the lead vocals on this album, and then also Cliff Davis did a couple of songs as well. So it's not like, but I didn't know this when I was a kid. I thought he sang all of his own stuff. It made sense. He was the singer. The band was called after him. Most people in that position would do that. But he didn't do that. So if I'd known that, maybe I would have been a little bit different about it. Anyways, having said all that, this is an excellent album. I've only just begun to get into it. It's definitely an album I would like to get. I find with most of his songs are really catchy riffs. They're not always the same catchy riff either. They're a little bit different. Each of them have something a little bit different, but always really catchy. He knows how to put riffs together. He also knows when to do those soloing and add them in. It's not like some bands that I don't like because they don't really have the greatest of catchy riffs, and then they put these lengthy solos that are just winding, screeching guitar that don't really fit the song right. But I don't find that here with the Ted Nugent State of Shock. I found that really catchy stuff with really excellent solos that fit the music very well. The song and Case, like the first song, Paralyzed, really heavy track, really catchy as hell, and that follows a theme throughout most of the album. The second song, Take It or Leave It, that song has a kind of a scrapey guitar sound that we used to get quite a bit of in the 70s, not so much anymore. But the solo on this song is absolutely excellent as well. The only track I didn't really care for on the album was Alone. I think it's more of a ballad. It's in that ballad range. I don't know if it's actually a ballad or not, but it's very solemn and it reminds me of a ballad. And the rest of the tracks are just really catchy stuff. I did like this song Snake Charmer quite a bit. Lots of feedback on that song as well, which is really interesting. He handles feedback fairly well as well. And same with the last song, Saddle Shore, another feedback, but really catchy as well. So almost all the songs on this album, if it was a dominating factor, it would be the catchiness of the riffs. And that's why it's come so high at such an early stage for this album, is because I just found this a great album to kind of really, if you want to get upbeat and just really get into catchy music, this is the album, I think, of the ones I've done so far that fits that bill very well. So just some really good stuff here. And this, I suspect that if I get this album and listen to it more, it would have come up much higher than it is. I put it just ahead of the April Wine album, mostly because I haven't listened to the April Wine album as much as I used to, and it's further in the past, and I had some issues with some of the, at least with the last track on that album, so I thought this album was just a tiny bit better, and so I gave it this space here in spot number 22. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of my favorite rock albums from 1979. If you got any comments about the album or Ted Nugent or anything related to the video, that'd be great. Put that down below. What would be your favorite album if you want to put that down? So overall, that's just great stuff. Anything that you put down there draws some more interest for the album and for me. So please hit the like button. It's much appreciated. If you want to stay in contact with the content and the series in general, please hit the subscription and the notification bell, and so you don't miss anything. And we will be back again tomorrow with another favorite album for the year 1979. So take care. Bye.